I had an old firm that I used to work for that used to say, "We don't get people in trouble here. Nobody gets in trouble here." But then you would get in trouble. And they thought just by not calling it getting in trouble meant that they weren't really getting people in trouble, which is absolutely silly. A rose by any other name will smell just as sweet. So you can't force the culture by saying this is our culture. You actually have to live it. And the culture with failing becomes toxic when the company no longer treats failing as a normal, good process for people to learn. I once went to a leadership retreat. It was a Zoom retreat, and the company had two owners. Only one of them was able to come, and he wanted to know what other leaders thought on the team about some changes that they were making. And he didn't like the feedback he was getting. The feedback, it wasn't harsh, but it wasn't in the direction that they wanted it to go. And there was some good reason for that, where the leaders were like, well, we'd like to do this with it instead. And he was getting really frustrated because it was not the feedback that he wanted. And finally, he got angry. He said he just raged at the group for a while on, how they didn't trust the owners of the firm, and how I don't even remember exactly what it was all about, but man, he was not happy, and he went on for quite a while. Then he told us, you know what, go work on these group things together. And he got off the Zoom. He turned his camera off. Apparently, he was still there. And there were a couple other employees that were still had their Zoom cameras on, and he had just told us to work in groups. And so I was like, oh, I better do exactly what he told me to do. So I tried asking the other people that had their Zoom cameras on. I'm like, are we supposed to text each other about doing this group project or what? He heard me, hopped back on the Zoom, reamed me out for a while. I have no idea why. I was just trying to do the group thing he talked about. And then he got off. And then about 20 minutes later, he called everybody back on again. And it was obvious that someone, maybe multiple people, told the other owner about what had just happened. And he was being forced to apologize. And he basically got on there, told us he was sorry, he should never have talked to us like that. But these are all the reasons I was justified, and reamed us out some more. And it was like, sorry, not sorry. And he went on for a while. So, what do you think in this case that as leaders that did to our culture? Well, one, we learned we can't give honest feedback.